Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, let me say, all honor and praises be unto Yahweh Shai, the double honors unto the apostles and elders of GreatMillStone, and Shalom to the sincere elect out there. Is the brother Shakal, and you know, a point I basically want to speak on is what is the foolishness of preaching. And really it's simple. It's being out there on the highways and byways prophesying and preaching this truth, but it's esteemed as a foolish thing to preach this word, man. You know, you have a lot of people talking shit, saying, "Oh, don't you have a job?" Which we actually do, but you know, they esteem what we do as madness, man. You know, but we go and basically read it plain to the point, and if the Lord wills, you know, bring out some edifying points, man. So the scripture is 1 Corinthians 1:18, right? And it says, I'm gonna start 1:17. For Hamashiach sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Hamashiach should be made of none effect. For the preaching of the cross is unto them that perish foolishness, man. And that's basically what we actually do under this day, man. To those who are chosen to be destroyed, man, they account what we do as being a fool or foolishness. But what is it that we do? We go out there preaching this word. You know, when you first come in the truth, you know, you actually might go and show everyone you know around you. You might show your friends, your family, you know, and things of such according to the flesh. And they'd say, "What the hell? Shut up, man." They think you're crazy. They think you're mad. Well, that's a part of the experiences that we have to experience in this faith. Because if you go into the scriptures, man, the Lord had certain prophets of the Lord, you know, eat cow shit. Had certain of the prophets of the Lord walk around without any clothes, you know, being persecuted from city to city, being stoned. And that's what we're experiencing now. We ain't eating shit or not wearing any clothes out there. But the point is that we're esteemed as bums in the society, as being fools. Right? So the foolishness of preaching is exactly what it is. Us teaching this word, man. It says, "But the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which are saved, it is the power of God." That's right, because a person might even, you know, hopefully, if the Lord, how about Shai will, hopefully I'm of his elect. A person might come across me and think, this guy has a speech impediment. He can't speak properly, he can't say certain words properly, but he's out here preaching, speaking in front of people in a public space. What the hell is he doing? That's foolish. Might come across a brother who's really, really short. And think, how the hell is this guy short preaching such powerful words? He's a fool. They might come across a brother, you know, in the camp who's very tall, big and that, just big Jake, with really big lips or whatever. He's a big in the camp. They think, wait, hold on, this guy's supposed to be dunking a ball, man, or in sports. What the hell is he doing out here? Or they might come across a brother in the camp who's wearing so-called flashy clothes or the most expensive shoes or whatever. They're like, wait, how the hell is this guy who seems as if he hasn't got a job telling me about the scriptures? He's a fool, man. But guess what? The scripture says, man, the Lord has chosen those which are despised and esteemed as naught to confound those who are esteemed as wise and mighty in the society, man. And it says, for the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us which is saved, this is the power of God. That's right. Because we might come across those certain individuals that I described, right? And we having a faith, we say, Lord, that's the Lord, man. The Lord chose a guy who used to be a nigger, a drug dealer, but now he's prophesying the word. Paul killed certain men, man. Or Paul killed men of the Lord, man. Right? But what? The Lord brought him into the faith. Now, people who are carnal will esteem that as foolish, but unto us, which is saved, that's right. Because if we are joined to the end, we will be saved, right? It is the power of God. For it is, for it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise. Salakia. It's flesh, boy. It says, and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise and where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Have not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? Because really, the wisdom of this world is foolish. The wisdom of this world says, do what thou will. The wisdom of this world says, you have free will. The wisdom of this world says, a man and a woman are equal. But it is made foolish because why? The words of the Lord, right, through the prophets of the Lord, condemn those words, and the counsel that they've got of this world will come unto a naught, as the scripture says in Acts. If this counsel be of men, it shall be overthrown, or shall come to naught. But if it be of God, you cannot overthrow it, man. That's why people come at us and esteem us as fools. But guess what? If we be of those men, which we help, we are confident that we're of those men, you can't overthrow us, man. And it says, right? And it says, for after that in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. That's right, because if you're joined into the ways of this society, if you won't understand this truth, if you ain't been chosen to. It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe, man. Right? And I ain't talking about them churches. The foolishness of preaching is preaching out there on the highways and byways, and I'm gonna prove that. This is 1 Corinthians 1:21. But if you go into the word in the Greek, right, which our elders and apostles, man, they make us know, man, that we have to go into the words. So if you go into the word foolishness in the verse, Salak, if you go into where was it? Preaching, right? It says that which is proclaimed by a herald or a public crier, a proclamation by a herald. In the New Testament, the message or proclamation of the heralds of God or Hamashiach. So we, in essence, are the heralds of the kingdom to come, or the heralds of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahawashi, which is the foolishness of preaching, man. Because it says by a public, or basically a herald or a public crier. That proves it's out there, man, on the streets, man. Now, if you go into the word, you know, herald, it means a messenger, an envoy. Late 13th century in Anglo-Latin, circa 1200 as his surname. If you skip down, it says commander of an army. But if you skip down, it says from Pi root, Kowo, war, and well does to command, man. You know? So really, that's what we actually do, man. We're proclaiming the time of war. We're proclaiming, you know, the kingdom to come, the time of trouble approaching us. That's what we're doing, and people think we're fools for that. But the scripture says it pleases him to basically, through the foolishness of preaching, to save those who what? Those who believe, man. This is 1 Corinthians 4:9. For I think that Yahweh has set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were, appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men. We are fools for Hamashiach's sake, but ye are wise in Hamashiach. We are weak, but ye are strong. Ye are honorable, but we are despised. That's right. So it's as simple as this, man. We are set up as a spectacle, man. That's why we're seen. But where are we seen? We're seen out there in the highways and byways, man. This is Jeremiah 28:8. Sorry, 28:8. And the simple point is that the prophets of the Lord are back, man. The scripture says in 1 Corinthians 14:32 that the spirits of the prophets are subject to the prophets. And there's something in the Bible known as reincarnation, man. So people keep coming back in their lots in times, you know. It says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and pestilence. And that's what we are doing, man. But again, even Jeremiah, man, you know, they esteemed him as a fool, man. You know, had him in stocks and stuff. They even had him in a pit of mud, man. You know, this is Proverbs 8, and I'm gonna end this. Does not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places, by the way in the places of the pass. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O men, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. All you simple, understand, and you fools, be of an understanding heart. So the wisdom of the Lord is what? Is these words, right? Well, guess what? The prophets of the Lord teach this word out there on the highways and byways, but people are still missing fools. You know? But guess what? Scripture says it pleased the Lord for that through foolishness of preaching, that the Lord may save those who believe. So that is so preaching out there, teaching this word is what is defined as the foolishness of preaching, which if we endure, we will be saved because of that. Because why? Because we trusted in the word. So with that, I'm going to say all honor and praises be unto Yahweh Shemel Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Lord willing, you brothers are all edified. Shalom.